Hello everybody, and welcome back to the KCCR. Today we'll be going over Warframe. It is in open beta. Well, it just says beta, but it's open beta clearly. Now, in terms of character creation and character customization and open worldness, what is usually what I cover, we're going to go ahead and obviously for this type of game we're going to scratch open world because you can't have it per se, and then we're going to scrap character creation, but we still have character customization and creation by extension. By that I'll show you. What you see right here on the main screen is what you get when you log into the game. If it's your first time logging into the game, you will go through a tutorial, which I do believe you can skip if you are not into tutorials, but if it's your first time playing, I suggest you do it. It gives you a little bit of understanding of how the game mechanics work. It's not too long. Shit, it's like 5 minutes of your life worth doing. And then once you beat that, you're given the choice of 3 frames, which due to the betas and closed betas, those frames have switched up at points in time, but currently I believe it is mag frame, the Excalibur frame, and the Loki frame. I'll explain that in a bit. For now, this is what you have. This is how you go about selecting missions. Okay, you have like planets. You start with Mercury. Where the fuck is Mercury? Unlocked. And then as you click it, you see all these are little missions you do. You do these, and as you get to, say, see Venus down here? Saturn? You would click these, and now you branch into another planet. Okay, so we'll go back real quick. Up here is where you have your UI and stuff, yada yada. I know, that's not relative to character creation. Well, what is? You say, okay, we'll go into it then. If you click Arsenal up here, you're brought to this screen. This is everything that is, for all intents and purposes, directly tied to your creation and or customization of your Warframe. It's got a lot going for it. It's got great potential, and I'd like to see more capitalized. So we'll go over what they have right now. We'll start with your frame right here. Now, this little bar represents the master rank you have for that frame, and the amount of EXP you need to next level, as that maxes you gain 1 rank. Okay, and these are the abilities that frame has. That does not mean you have those equipped at the start of the game. That means, well, I'll go into that in a sec. If you click this, these are the different types of frames you can have. As I said, you start with the choice of Excalibur, which is what I started with, Mag, and Loki. It used to be at one point Mag replaced Volt over here, and then further back, and apparently I'm told that it was random frames depending on whatever, but that's not relevant now, so yeah. If you have frames unlocked, they will say available or owned, I believe, is what it actually says, and it'll be like right here instead of silver or whatever, and you just click it and it switches your frame out to that. So we'll go back. These are the abilities that you can equip. As I said, you do not start with them. Well, what are the abilities? You click over here, and this is your configure upgrade button. This is for each weapon you have, as well as this, and when I get I'll explain this in a bit. So we'll click that. This is your mod screen. As you level up a frame or a weapon, you see this mod capacity 20. Each card you have, you pick up these mods when you do missions. You do start with your class ones, like Super Jump, Radial Javelin, and I believe a Slash Dash for Excalibur, and something else. Each starter mag starts with their own, and when you craft one up in here in the Foundry, which I'll explain in a bit, they also come with, I think, 3 to 4 cards, but it does not mean you can equip them immediately. These range from things such as 80% shield capacity, which I'll explain too, to the abilities that your frames can use, to things such as 15% movement speed, 25 power, 50% more stamina. They pretty much cover all the bases in terms of customization for a character, i.e. your frame. You play as a Tenno, which is apparently a descendant of a long ancient race of super fucking aliens, whatever, that owned the galaxy at one point, I guess, and you're coming back to take it back from the warring factions. Yeah, so the Warframe you see here, this is Excalibur. This is not you, per se. You're a person inside this, so this is just the fucking exosuit you're using to combat stuff. Yeah. You have a color palette. You only have so many you can choose from, but you have different little, like, primary color. You can click this, and you have like this, and you have to like buy that to have access to other fucking you know, whatnots. Yes, that's in the marketplace, but there's nothing I can do about that. Luckily, you start with a nice grayscale white. Either way, if you feel like doing that, it's not too expensive. It's like $4 can get you it, I believe. Go for it if you feel like it. This is your Sentinel screen. I don't have one yet, but you know, I'll get one in a bit. as I said. So this is how you equip mods. As you level up the frame, you will have one mod per level unless you overcharge it. We'll go over here to my Lex. When you overcharge it, you use something you gain from the market, or you can get it on random raids and or missions, sometimes rarely, but you can get them in-game without paying for them. That essentially doubles up the amount of mods you have per level. It does scale, so if you like have a level 10 Lex, or whatever item, and you put it on, you'll then have 20 mods as opposed to 10 mods, so it does count previous levels gained without the enhancement. And that, you see this little number here, 3, 7 on the right of the card, 3, 6, 5, 4, 3, 8, 1, yeah, whatever. That's how many mod points this here they take up in order to attach it to the slot. And you'll notice polarities. Let's take this off real quick. See this symbol right here? A symbol on the mod right there? By putting that in this slot, it rounds, it cuts the thing in half. So notice 7 cost, drops it to 4, but it rounds it up, so 4. Alright, it's pretty good. You have a lot of customization. As I said, this is a weapon, so a good example. You have reload speeds, you can add electrical damage, you've got a lot going for you in terms of customization. And then you hit accept whenever you mess with mods. You can color the weapons, just like you can your Warframe, and once you buy like a color unlock or whatever, you'll have like all the crazy ass, I get it, things that you can apply to your weapon if you feel inclined to do so. You don't need them. You have a decent amount of colors to choose from, but you don't need them. Let's see here. Your weapons of choice, this is your primary weapon. This slot, this is your secondary weapon, and this is your melee weapon. So we'll click this. These are all the currently implemented primary weapons. Now notice that some of these, most of them have like platinum, but a lot of them you can buy just outright with credits. But also when we go to the marketplace up here, go to weapons, you can buy almost every single weapon in here by going over some, and you'll start seeing blueprints. By buying one of these blueprints, you are allowed to then craft that weapon. We'll click on Foundry here and give you an example of what I'm talking about. I have a Shindo ready to be made. These are crafting materials. You get these throughout missions, and I have a worm being made right here. And as you get them, once you have enough, these are what you need on the left and what you have on the right. I'm sorry, no. What you need on the right and what you have on the left. I'm a fucking idiot. You spin them and you're crafting. Depending on what you're trying to craft, it takes X amount of time, but it'll tell you right here. And what you need money-wise. It's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty easy crafting thing. Some of these, like this gallium right here, it's considered rare drop. Not too hard to get, though. You get them. Maybe an hour. So it's not too bad. Having all this salvage, for example, I went from 0 to damn near 5,000 in maybe an hour. It's really not that bad of just playing and having fun. So it's one of the few games I can honestly say, outside of unless you just are having shit-ass bad unlucky drops, you're not going to have too much trouble. You don't feel that you're uber grinding, but we'll get into that here in a bit. As I said, you have almost every weapon. Currently, the only weapon I believe you can't craft is this here glaive, which was literally implemented, what, a day or so ago, so that's fine. There's a whole bunch of different types of weapons. You have, we'll go over to guns. You have, we'll go back here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You have all sorts of different things here that act differently. Like, I use the Paris. I fucking love it. I know, yeah, everybody uses the Paris, so shut the hell up. I don't give a shit what you think about me. It's a pretty cool thing. You have bolters, which are pretty much fire bolts, and they stick enemies to the wall, like the Paris. You've got shotguns. This Gorgon is a, how to word it? Think of any heavy minigun. Like, it starts build up and starts firing like a mad beast. You've got multiple different types of shotguns, the Heck, the Bore, the Strun. You've got the MK1 Bratton, which is actually what you start with, but I sold mine because fuck that gun. You've got the Snipetron, which is a legit sniper rifle, strongest thing there is. And if you click on something here, it'll show you a comparison of what you have going for you. Fire rate, accuracy, clip size. Obviously, clip size isn't relevant to a Paris because you don't have a clip. But it pretty much covers your bases. You've got a bunch of different guns here, and if you click secondary, you've got the same amount here from dual pistols, dual boltals, which are ACK boltals, which are 2 boltals, which are essentially the pistol version of a bolter. Yeah, but as I said, so you can balance your stuff. You've got dual machine guns, single machine guns, like a mini shotgun, the Bronco, really good gun. I love it. I'm gonna end up buying it again in a bit. And then we go down to your melee, and you've got even more melee going on here. It's a crazy amount of fucking shit. You've got single-handed swords, which are like the Skana, which I believe is actually what you start with, to dual weapons like this Fang, which is incredibly fast, many hits. to the bow staff, which ignores some armor, I guess I'm told it does, but it hits multiple enemies, to big hammers, to dual weapons such as the Amphis, which has built-in lightning, and then the Shindo, which is just apparently an OP axe. Pretty cool looking daggers, which ignore armor. Super, it's where you got a lot going for you in terms of what choice of weaponry you want to use. But let's go ahead and move on from weapons, because I don't want to sit here on screen and these weapons are the bit. I'll explain the mods a bit more, because this is where the real customization comes in Warframe. Guns and or frames without mods are fucking useless, frankly. Really. These are your skills and or passives, and or you can also separate them here. So we click on Warframe, for example. They range from things such as Thief Wit, Loot Radar, which is essentially you're able to see loot laying on the ground around you. I mean, if you have the room to use it, you might as well. To Vitality, which is 40% more health. And as I explained, you already, based on the number and the type affinity, which is the top right corner of the card, based on the frame you're using. It's the same for guns. Let me go back real quick, click on this pairs. Notice here, if I take the ammo drum off, that costs 5, but if I put it in here, it drops down to 3, round it up, always round it up. And that's pretty much the only other thing I can say about the mod system outside of that, it seems more complicated than it really is the fusion part of it. Now I can show you one of these. Alright, so in order to make a mod stronger, you have, if you notice on the left side of the card, like the barrier right there, you'll see these little tick marks. That's the rank of the mod. So this is obviously rank 0. But if I go to, let's click on my Warframe, what I have equipped, I have rank 3/. Now let's go ahead and do this. You see what I have equipped right here. Okay. Where the hell is that /? Rank 3. By clicking that and clicking fusion right here, you can then fuse that with any other thing you want here. So if you have mods you don't like, for example, Decoy, which is a Loki specific skill, i.e. I cannot use it, I have no intent on using Loki. So therefore I can click that and now it's highlighted. By doing this, apply fusion, I've now used that mod and applied it to my /, and this little bar right here, when this reaches the top, you gain another rank. So by ranking down one more, I will have a max rank /, and that's what you do. Now you can combine any mod, so I can, /- with a Venom, and you'll gain some XP. But if I were to take that /- and combine it with, do I have another? I do, another /-, watch the XP. If I click Venom, it goes up a little bit, right? But if I click /-, it goes up a lot. So by combining a mod you have with another mod of this exact same name and type, you vastly increase the experience that mod has. So it's worth doing it, but like I said, you're not stuck with that. And if we go over here to all, you'll see these fusion cores. These can be combined with anything, and they give like a lump sum thing. And I believe you can even combine those with themselves. No, you cannot. But let's click /- again, click fusion. And that'll actually max that. I have insufficient credits, which is fine, but as I said, you can use them. That's apparently an uncommon rank 5/1. That's yeah, so I guess the higher the rank these are, the more EXP they give. That would max that out. That's how you increase mods, as I said. So that's how the mod system works in general. It works the same for Warframes, for all your sidearms, your melee weapons, as long as you follow the rule of mod limit, how many you can equip with the rank of the mod right down here, the mod slots it takes up. You're pretty cool. You have a lot of mix and matching that you can do, from, as I said, anything from lightning damage to frost damage, which will do little damage but will freeze the enemies. Lightning damage will stun certain electronic organisms, to fire damage, which is super strong, to all sorts of shit, molten impact, fire melee, 10% freeze. So I mean, you've got a whole lot you can do with that. Alright, that about covers the whole Warframe aspect. Now if we go over here, I'm going to explain the Foundry more. A little bit more. You'll notice that I'm making a worm. This is a Sentinel. There's only 2 in the game right now. There will be more in the future, I assume. I'm told there will. These are like little pets that follow you around and shot lasers. They're helpful depending on how you build them. All of these materials you can get in the game completely fine. As you see, I have a whole bunch of other stuff over here that's not really used for this stuff. It's just a matter of going to certain planetary systems, i.e. Mars versus Earth versus Neptune versus Uranus. and just doing missions and gathering the stuff. You will gather them fairly easy. You will. As always, when the scenario of, I need this, like, let's say, gallium. It's a rare drop. I need gallium to make this. I have 0. If you go looking for that in a mission, you're probably going to be disappointed because it won't drop. But you know how that works. The more you need it or the more you want it, the galaxy's like, fuck you. We're not going to give you what you need or what you deserve. We're going to give you whatever the fuck we feel like it. You don't have Batman. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You hit the build button, you can rush this, but it will cost platinum. I have 30 platinum, I could instant finish this, but I don't feel like wasting that platinum. Platinum is your in-game currency. You buy cash shop, and you spend it on cash shop-based stuff. But as I said, you don't need it. Now, in order to gain other Warframes, you have the option up here. We'll click Market. Go into Warframe. To doing multiple things here. You can buy them with platinum, which will give you a fully completed, with abilities, Warframe. If you're the kind of person that feels like doing that, go for it. There is no PvP in Warframe, so you don't have to worry about people are buying frames. What the fuck ever. There's no PvP. But as I said, you can buy all of the blueprints. And then just craft them. Now, well, how do you do the crafting of a Warframe? It works like this. There are certain places in the game for certain Warframes will use Rhino. There's a certain boss that drops his pieces, and you have to beat that boss, and you have a chance of acquiring the piece. Once you get the piece, you can then craft it. But you have to craft 3 pieces. You have to craft the chassis, the helmet, and I think the legs. I don't, or the hands or feet. I don't know what the third piece is. Maybe the circuitry. I don't fucking know. And then once you craft those 3 pieces, you then have to combine them together to craft a thing. So essentially, it's a 3-day process to make a full Warframe. But that's not too bad. As I said, you get 3 to choose to start with, so choose ones you like. Some Warframes are male, quote-unquote. Some are female, quote-unquote. I.e., that just means they look like that. So, like, let's see here. Mag is a female, shapely Warframe. So is, I think, Trinity's a female. Banshee is... Some Warframes, such as Banshee, for example, don't have a specific boss that has X chance of dropping their piece. Rather, instead, it's a do whatever fuck missions you do, and you have a random chance of obtaining a Banshee. So Banshee is apparently harder to get than, say, any of the rest. Alright, that about covers that. As I said, you can buy the weapons the same way. Some of these you can buy with credits, which is pretty good. You don't have to spend this, even though it's like credits and platinum. No, it's just click buy. You can use credits or platinum. So, the ones that you can do it, if you have the credits to waste, there's no reason not to. It just saves you having to craft it. So, by all means, go for it. Some items, such as, where are you heck? Such as the heck. Notice it says XP locked. Same with the Rhino Warframe. Click this. Wait for it. This item is XP locked. You must reach rank 4 before you can choose it. Okay, this up here is your rank. Okay, it tells you what you need to do. You start at rank 0, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many there are. And every time you max this bar, you have to do a mission, which is pretty straightforward. You go into it, excuse me, the female, I believe her name is Lotus, from the tutorial will be like, you need to do this, and just do it. If you succeed, and you rank up. If you do not succeed and you fail the mission, don't worry, you don't have to regain the EXP, which I was told you did, so fuck those trolls. Rather, instead, you just need to wait 24 hours before you can take the test again. So fret not. If for some reason you fail, due to lag, or due to being pulled away from the computer, or shit, blue screen of death for all I care, you just have to wait 24 hours. The missions don't seem to be too hard. The one I got for rank 1 was use a sidearm to kill the guys in X time. Not too bad. Headshots and you good to go. So that about covers that. As I said, it's all pretty straightforward. You've got the shop, you've got the mod system, you've got the crafting system, colors, and abilities. Each frame is vastly different from themselves, and they have stats. The only thing is, I cannot show you the stats here, but I can recommend you just look at the Warframe wiki. People are doing a very good job of updating that when they have the proper information about it. And certain frames, such as, let's take Rhino and Frost, have incredibly good tanky abilities, and just in-at stats to them. Every time they level up, they gain X stats, such as shields and health. Well, they have the lowest speed, versus like this guy, Excalibur, who you can start with, who is pretty even down the board. And they all have different stuff. Like Rhino and Frost have pretty much the same stats outside of movement speed. They're both tanky, but the differences are Frost's abilities, listed right here, are use abilities like shoot a wave of ice, slow enemies down, or put a bubble on the ground that makes ice shield, you know, versus Rhino, which has a few offensive, which is really just a charge, and a lot of AoE and control, and then he has one invincibility technique. So the frames are all different, even the ones that seem remotely similar play very much different. So I implore you to get a frame that you like. Obviously, if you can't afford to buy one or do not feel like myself, I just do not feel like purchasing one, then choose the one to start with that you like the most out of the three you have accessible. And go with it. Gameplay-wise, the game is very easy. Well, very easy to learn. The game can be really hard, but it's fairly easy to learn how to play. It's your typical arena-based stuff, as I said. I'm not going to go into any missions and explain that, as that's not immediately tied to character creation or customization. Outside of, if you hover over a planet, it'll show you, over on the top right, up here, it'll show you the resources that you can gain from just doing missions in that planet. These can be given as the mission reward, but more than likely you're going to pick them up in the mission. There's things such as little pillars, which are like barrel type things, treasure chests if you will, and then there's lockers, which you open them and like money, it rained money all over your face. It's pretty much Bukkake in terms of money. And so you just gather those. It's pretty straightforward. Some of these planets like Pluto is fucking hard as balls. Yeah. Up here you have two different things you can do. Online, private, solo. Solo self-explanatory. You click that, nobody can join you and you can't join anybody else. You just click a mission and you do it alone. Private is you and anybody on your friends list. So if you're doing a mission, they can just jump into you, but it's directly tied to your contacts list over here. La names. And online means that anybody can join you, and I believe it doesn't matter which one of these you set to. I believe you can join others outside of solo. I believe private. No, I am actually incorrect. You do need to click online to join other people. Either way. So that's pretty straightforward. Gameplay-wise, it's an action-based game, but as I said, we're not going to cover that. I will probably be uploading videos in the future of me doing some gameplay. They're probably going to consist of me bitching and whining and dying a lot, and pretty much sounding like every 12-year-old boy playing Call of Warfare Modern Duty on fucking Xbox 3. So, that about covers Warframe. Yeah, give it a shot. See if you like it. As they do updates, you notice up here, 7.9.0, whatever the glaive introduced. They keep adding stuff. It's fairly new. I believe they have great potential here. Give it a shot, everybody. As always, thank you for watching, and you know what to do.